Hello everyone, I'm Ron Grant coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the Virgin Islands. You're watching 284 Media. Thank you so much for your time. The British Virgin Islands Electricity Corporation is observing Health and Safety Week, of course, with a number of activities. Most importantly, we are celebrating here in the British Virgin Islands the success of our line workers and T&D foremen at the recently held CARILEC Rodeo in Antigua. Joining me to discuss not only the week of activities, but the success of the workers at BVIEC is Occupational Health and Safety Manager, Miss Melony James. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Vibe! All right! Monet! Voice!
Na 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 na. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Baby, baby, yeah.
Raw TV!
Meeting in my bed, in my bed.
Alkaline!
Yeah, see some we are create waves like the ocean, yeah.
Freddie Jackson!
Oh, my lady.
Gramps Morgan!
Feels like heaven, heaven surrounds me.
And more! The 24th, 25th, and 26th of May 2024. The Virgin Islands Music Festival. 60 beats, one vibe.
For more information, visit virginislandsmusicfestival.com.
That's just not cricket.
No sweat, you're with CG. Remember my street dance battle against Seamus O'Leapsy? I went on to win the title Miss Irish-ish, set to perform at nursing homes around the world. Then this happened. Seamus on you, Seamus. Anyway, I was covered. Let's bounce.
Comprehensive motor cover for damage and more. CG Insurance. Good like that.
Welcome back everyone, and thank you so much for sticking with us. As promised, we're joined by Occupational Health and Safety Manager at BVIEC, Miss Melony James. Miss James, thank you for your time and welcome back to our studios.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's always a pleasure. Now, as I mentioned, we're celebrating quite a bit at BVIEC, a lot of accomplishments.
Yes,
Most
we
importantly, we are observing Health, Safety, and Health Week. Tell us about this month of activities, the week of observations, and what it means to BVIEC.
Okay, great. For BVIEC, electricity, health and safety is paramount in our operations. Without health and safety as an integral part, or what I call a value in how we operate, there could be some things that can lead to possibly death. But we haven't had that because we have been able to emulate the things that we are supposed to as it relates to honing in on the elements of working safely and observing practices that are within the regimen of transmission and distribution and the generation of electricity as well. So for us, it started with the idea of every year we celebrated the World Day for Occupational Health and Safety.
Okay.
And this year we wanted to take it a bit further. It's not just in one day, but what can we do to observe the successes in health and safety for our team members, our various departments. And it started with our 100 Days of Wellness program, which was launched back in February.
Okay.
And for that, we went through taking health checks for our internal staff. We had training sessions for all departments. And we wanted to culminate this with a Health and Safety Week. And during this week, which is May 6th to 10th, we are having a host of activities, both internally, and we also want to open our doors to the public and invite them to understand what it is to be a member of staff at BVIEC Electricity, what we do and how we do it. So during this week, we start first with pledging our continuous support to health and safety as staff members. But then we get into leadership training. It's important in every organization that leaders basically walk. We say you have to talk and talk and walk the walk. And if we want our staff to do what's right, we also have to be able to do what is right. So in the first day of training, our leadership team and our board of management, who so kindly agreed to be a part of the training, we're looking at setting a vision for health and safety. And what does that look like for BVIEC Electricity? What does that look like for the BVI as a territory? How can we be trendsetters or continue to be trendsetters in the area of health and safety? And then we go into the staff training and we hone in on our theme, which is excellence in safety and health, building consistent practices.
Okay.
So it's not that we don't do it, we do it, but how can we ensure that we are consistently doing the things that we do? And my team could not have won this competition if they did not consistently practice health and safety. So we are focusing on the training, and ultimately we open the doors to our public for our open day. And at our open day, you would actually be able to see the team execute one or two of their activities, and you get to see how they do what they do. Some of it is speed, some of it is at general pace, but they're activities. And my team will definitely be able to share with you what activities they can and will demonstrate for the public. On that day also, we will be having free health checks. So you can come in, you can get your cholesterol done, not high blood pressure. We want to give you your pressure checks, as well as your glucose checks. We have a oximeter and a whole gamut of tests that will be done by some trained nurses who will be with us. On hand, we have confirmation so far from Clarence Thomas and other persons who will be displaying their safety and health related products to the public as well. So we are looking forward to the public coming in on May 10th to our open day in Longbush to participate with us in these activities.
Amazing, quite a bit going on, but I have to go back to health and safety. We, of course, at 284 Media are going to be coming to observe the training day on May 10th, but I have to ask you, you mentioned about the health checks, right?
Yes.
And just out of curiosity, how important is it for those health checks for some of your men that are working in, or all of them, who are working out in the field?
It is most definitely important, because a well employee, a healthy employee is a safe employee. And my team cannot work when they are feeling extremely stressed, or even if outside is definitely too hot. So understanding the health of our staff helps us to understand how we can even schedule work. Because our foreman, who will be coming on to talk to you later, he would indicate to us clearly if the rain is falling, we're not going to do it. For safety reasons, obviously.
Correct.
But there are other circumstances where, say, the team has gone above and beyond. I've seen them do it directly after the passing of Tropical Storm Philippe. And they worked tirelessly the next day. We had some customers calling in and saying, we really appreciate what you did, working late into the night to ensure we were restored. And the next day, we initially had an outage plan. But why would we want to put our staff through the level of fatigue? Yes. So understanding their general wellness helps us to know how best to manage our employees as well. Beautiful. For their well-being.
Now, on the aspect of health and safety, this might be off topic, but what are the training opportunities that are available at the agency in recruiting health and safety professionals? And the reason I ask that, because health and safety, as you would know, is perhaps sometimes not the most popular field in the British Virgin Islands, but I think it's imperative that we begin to recruit and train next generation of health and safety workers. On the BVIEC front, what do you guys, if anything, have you done regarding the continuation of training and making sure that perhaps if Ms. James is no longer there, we still have persons who are trained in health and safety who could carry on this aspect of the organization?
And that's an awesome question, Ron. Thanks for bringing that up. So on an annual basis, we do have a health and safety training calendar. Okay. And that calendar is divided into our leadership type training and our employee training. And quite recently, we did something as simple as donning and doffing of PPE for our T&D, or transmission and distribution staff, for the public who don't know what T&D means. And that was just making sure you check your personal protective equipment. When the helmet turns yellow, what does that mean? If it has a crack, what should you do? When you wear your boots and inside is feeling as though there's too much wear and tear, where do you go? And how do you ensure that you safely dispose of some of the personal protective equipment that we have? Outside of that, on an annual basis, as a part of the same rodeo, they have a training session where they go through new practices that are coming on stream in the line worker field of work. Outside of that, BVIEC Electricity offers every year a health and safety scholarship. Beautiful. At a bachelor's degree level. I am begging the public to please take hold of this opportunity. I know I was here last year doing the same thing, and I didn't get any applicants last year. Wow. But I'm hoping that this year that someone feels as though that their interest is piqued so much that they would want to take hold of that opportunity because our scholarships are full ride. There is no partiality with our scholarships. We cover tuition, we cover housing, we cover almost everything as it relates to your time at whatever college or university that you choose. So I implore the public, if you know someone that is technically minded, or you don't have to be technically minded, if you have a scientific mind and you want to look into a field that you know will be the future of work, I implore you to apply for our health and safety scholarship.
Wonderful. And of course, that brings us to the success of the CARILEC Rodeo, of course, that was held in Antigua. We're going to meet, of course, the competitors, the participants who are members of the BVIEC, but briefly, tell us about the competition.
So the rodeo is a display of practical skills for the line workers in the electrical utilities company. And there's a display of 5 different activities. This year, the team was only able to execute 4 of those 5 because it rained heavily on the day. And the team didn't even know they won because they came back to BVI without even knowing that they were the winners because the tabulations had to be adjusted to determine who was the winner. And the rodeo is also to help persons to hone on their skills. And when Edward comes on, he's going to tell you how hard he had to train. He's generally a good linesman. But these things take a level of expertise and precision because the slightest thing is a discount on your score. So say I know he indicated to me, one of them is like speed climbing and you have to carry an egg in your mouth. And I think that's a particular activity. And if you break the egg, then you lose a lot of points.
Interesting.
Then there's the pole top rescue activity. How do you rescue someone that may have fallen ill or got shot while they're working on the pole and you may not necessarily have a bucket truck at all times? How do you safely rescue that individual? Then one of the last activities that I watched them, because I had to watch them live on that day, was they were basically setting up a changeover of a line, I think it was. And 2 of them were working on the same pole at the same time, and how you were able to see them do collaborative teamwork, how they communicated with each other to ensure, and it had to be in less than 10 minutes, I believe, they had to get this particular activity done. And just seeing them do it and hearing their foreman cheer them on, and other people in the background saying, "What?"
Wow.
It's just to show that people may think, Jamaicans say we small, but we talawa.
Yeah.
Yes. When you look at the rest of the electrical utilities, we have one of the smallest transmission and distribution groups, but we small, but we big and talawa at it. So my guys, and I just wanted to ensure that the public knew of their success.
And got to see the faces behind the success.
Most definitely.
Beautiful. So of course we are going to get to meet the gentleman, the T&D foreman, as well as our line worker who were successful at the event. But Melony, I want to thank you so much for your time. We're going to take a quick commercial break and be back.
Awesome.
At Higher BVI, we're not just about business. We're about empowering lives, and that is because we aspire to inspire. By choosing us, you're supporting a company that believes in equal opportunities, diversity, and community growth. Our mission goes beyond profit. It's about providing HR solutions, fostering talent, and leaving a positive impact. Join us in building a better future, a better BVI. Choose Higher BVI, where your support isn't just a transaction, it's a transformation. Together, we're changing lives in these beautiful Virgin Islands.
Orange alert! Orange alert!
Fire is spreading across the BVI. The fastest, most reliable, and affordable fiber internet service is here for you. Look out for fire in these new locations: Slaney, Duff Bottom, Manual Reef, Seacoast Bay, Albion, Hannah's, Palestina, Pleasant Valley, and Havers. Fiber is in your area. Call 444-4444 or visit a CCT store to find out more and bring it home. More locations coming soon.
Welcome back, viewers, and thank you so much for sticking with us. As promised, we are joined by the recipients of a number of awards who represented the BVIEC at the recently held CARILEC Rodeo in Antigua. They are to my near right, Donaldson, Hamlet, T&D foreman, and to my far right, Edward Pollock, a lines worker. Gentlemen, welcome to our platform, and thank you for your time.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
All right, you're welcome. Now, if you haven't heard it before, allow me to be one of the first to congratulate you on the success of the recent rodeo. Quite an exciting initiative, but I understand that this is not your first time participating. Am I correct?
This is not our first time. This is actually our third rodeo.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes, we had some challenges. Our first rodeo was in 2019, just before COVID.
Okay.
We went to the rodeo not knowing what to expect. We hadn't seen a rodeo before, so we just went and tried to follow on, and I think we came back with 2 second places, maybe 2 plaques or something like that. And then last year, but what I did after we came back from the first rodeo was build a training ground.
Okay.
Because I get to understand what is being done at the rodeo. So we built a training ground, and then we started training the guys for next year. But then COVID came, so we had a couple of years not doing anything. So we went last year, we went last year to the rodeo again. It was quite a challenge because we left here Friday morning and we didn't get to St. Lucia until Sunday afternoon.
Interesting.
When we got to St. Lucia, all the other teams had already done their part. So when we got there, all we were saying was Dominica in the lead, St. Lucia in the lead, and then they gave us the opportunity to still do what we had to do.
Okay.
And we whipped all of them.
Nice, nice.
Well,
late but still successful.
Yeah.
Right. So to even further, add to what he was saying, that when we arrived there the Sunday morning, the parade was commencing, and there was only 2 of us in that parade, whilst we were with the others, to come. And when I got there, one of the questions that was asked to me is that would we still participate?
Okay.
And I said, no matter what happened, we are going to participate.
Awesome.
So they are waited for when the other guys got there and gave us the opportunity so that we would be able to participate.
Okay.
It was late in the evening, more or less so around 2 to 3 o'clock in the evening when we actually started, taking part in the rodeo. But we have already saw all the mistakes that was made, so that made us better aware of the competition that was around us and how to approach, based on what we were to do in that rodeo.
We'll have a couple questions because T&D foreman, you mentioned about creating a training ground at BVIEC. I'm assuming that you still have that training ground.
Yes, we do.
Beautiful. And how effective would you say that is for not only the persons who go away to compete? How many persons are representing the cohort? How many competitors for each team?
Well, each team could have, they have an apprentice team,
okay,
and an experienced team. But we only use our experienced team because we didn't have much young guys at the time like that. Like now, we have like 6 new employees that we're training real hard.
Beautiful. That are young.
So yeah, young guys. So I'm thinking that if I were to go to the rodeo next year, I would go with an apprentice team and an experienced team.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I have to ask you, when you speak about the younger workers, what do you say to young men or young women? Because I believe now we had a switch in the term lines worker. First it was linesman, now it's line worker. Why is that?
Well, they use line worker because they said they don't want anyone to feel left out.
Okay. All right.
You say linesmen, they're going to think they're only referring to the men.
Understood.
So they changed it from linemen to line worker. We had two women at the rodeo, one from one from Antigua and one from Bahamas.
Understood.
Yes.
So what do you say to the up-and-coming generation of line workers who are looking at you, who observe you guys doing your duties in the Virgin Islands? What do you say to them who are curious?
So those that are with us right now, one of the things that we try to say to them, next year is your turn.
Okay.
You're going to be on the rodeo next year. So everybody's trying to fight hard now because they want to be exposed like that. Okay. And it's kind of good. We also training them because CARILEC has implemented a lot of things that we used to do before. The way we used to climb, just hold a pole and climb it. They don't want that anymore. You have to climb with a safety belt at all times.
Understood.
So the new guys we are training now, they don't touch a pole at all. They use the belt at all times to climb, which is a plus for them if they want to go to the rodeo.
Understood.
Yes,
Mr. Pollock, I want to talk about the elements of competition. What were some of the elements of the competition?
Well, for us, when we enter into the competition in the morning, you get stage fright in everything that you do. You have all the butterflies in your stomach and all of those things. So I personally had to encourage, my guys and tell them, listen, we are already here. We know that, the bullseye is on our back. We are not competing with anyone. We are actually competing with ourselves because everyone else has to try, to get to beat us. So stay focused and let us do what we know, best and to do it effectively. So the first thing for the morning, more or less, is like, what do you expect of yourself when you start, to go up that pole? And to take all the necessary precaution not to slip so that, you would not lose no points because this point standard starts at 100. And as you falter, you lose points. It is by 2, some is by 10. At times it's even 50 points based on how long, you stay doing what you're doing. So the challenges for us was more or less, to be able to execute and execute effectively.
Understood. And Foreman, I want to talk about the various activities. I understand that there were 5 activities in general.
Yes.
Break that down for us.
We had to do earth installation, like when we're working on the line, on the high voltage line, we normally ground out the lines, just in case someone were to backfeed with a generator, or we have strong lightnings that will not energize the line on us. It will send it to ground, so we had to do an earth installation. Then we had to do an HV changeover, high voltage changeover, like change out some pins on the pole, put in some new ones. Then we had to install some HV cutout, some switches.
Okay.
And then we had the hurt man. A guy got injured up there. We had to rescue him.
Okay.
This is not something we normally do here because we try to work safe and don't allow that to happen. So
understood.
In everything we did at the rodeo, this is the only thing that we don't really practice on a daily basis, but everything else is done. Everything else that was done at the rodeo, those are things we do every day. Then we had the speed climb in which everyone was excited to see. You put an egg in your mouth, or in a bag, you go up and you put an egg in your mouth and you come down.
Interesting. And you can't crack it, it can't fall.
You know when you see a Rasta man break an egg in his mouth? that's what I saw in St. Kitts. A Rasta man coming down with an egg in his mouth, and he slipped somehow and the egg broke and shattered all in his mouth.
Wow.
So that's a lot of points you lose for that.
Of course.
If you slip, you lose a point. If you have 10 minutes to do most of the events. If you take 12 minutes, you're still good. If you go over 12 minutes, 50 points is deducted from you. Yeah.
All right. Now I have to talk about of the 5 activities. I believe Melony mentioned that one was canceled due to inclement weather.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the speed climbing.
All right. So then we'd had 4, and you came back with 3 awards.
Yes.
Tell us about the awards.
I really thought we had 4 because we had the Hurtman Rescue.
Mm-hmm.
He made a simple mistake after he cut the rope the line to rescue him.
Yeah.
He had his knife, the way he was holding the knife.
Gotcha, okay.
He lost 2 points for that, so we got like 98 points. Other stuff we got like 100. We got 200 points, 98 and 96.
All right, so 2 first place and 1 second place.
Yes.
Wonderful. And of course, you have the first place overall.
Yes.
Exciting. Again,
Yes.
congratulations.
Thanks.
When you look at the level of training that takes place in the rodeo, what do you think it does for organizations? Not only you mentioned St. Kitts, Antigua, other places that were competing, but as a team, when you look at what you're able to accomplish, win or lose, awards or not, what does it do you think, as a foreman, for a group of workers?
I think it makes you a better person. Training is very important. We go out there and we train, and when we go out to the rodeo, I don't stick with them.
Okay.
They do what they have to do. All I say, we focus, do what your customer doing. If you see another team moving this book from here to there and you feel they're moving it better than you, still move it the way your customer moving it. Because they might have their style doing it.
Of course.
Yeah. I remember the first time we did the earth installation in St. Kitts, I think it was like 13 minutes. 13 minutes. We train here and we do the earth installation here under 3 minutes. When we went to the rodeo, we did it like 4 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, so practice is very important, and we're not just only going to use the training ground for rodeo, but we're going to have our guys train there ever so often so we could be ahead of things.
Understood.
Yeah.
And in closing, Mr. Pollock, I have to ask you, when you look at the next generation of line workers, you mentioned that they're a group of young guys that may have the opportunity to do the apprenticeship. But what do you say to the next generation of up-and-coming line workers who are looking at you and are not only interested, but they're impressed?
Well, the beauty about that is that I am also the one teaching them how to climb.
Excellent, okay.
And also, one of the things I normally say to them, I say safety is first. Because of the fact that the way we used to climb before has changed. We now have to use, pole straps, and that keeps us, safe on the pole. So even though you slip, you won't go down as you would normally, slip from the top and wind up on the ground from off the pole. So what I normally do is encourage them. Tell them, take your time, take your time, do what you all have to do, because the main thing is your own safety.
Of course.
Whatever you do, bear in mind that your safety is first, because I cannot keep you safe for yourself. You have to keep yourself safe. I can only tell you what to do, and once you follow instructions to the T, you won't have a problem.
Amazing.
And it's amazing because the first time we started practicing on the field, they actually saw the way that I was climbing, and all of them started pretending their climbing skills to mine. And I must say, I'm impressed with the way that they are coming along.
Wonderful. Well, again, I want to congratulate you, gentlemen, on the success, and most importantly, also for the agency's hard work in continuing to keep the lights on in whatever way you can throughout the BVI. We commend you here at 284 Media on the amazing work. Our foreman, of course, you and your team, and I look forward to speaking with you guys in the following year when it comes to the next competition. Do we know where next year's going to be?
We're hoping, God's spare lives, that we could host the rodeo sometime.
That would be
a great experience. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, guys wanted to come here and beat us from last year, so we want to give them the opportunity to come now. If they beat us at home, then we feel like we get beat fairly.
Okay, excellent. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for your time, and I'll see you executing your duties.
All right, thank you.
Nice. Thanks for having us.
Viewers, that's all the time we have. Of course, celebrating the success of the line workers at the BVIEC, who so graciously represented the British Virgin Islands at CARILEC, of course, in Antigua, the CARILEC Rodeo that is in Antigua. This is, of course, their third time competing, and once again coming home with 3 awards and a overall first place. So kudos to the team at BVIEC, Miss Melony James, of course, the Occupational Health and Safety Manager, who continues to make sure that our workers are working in a safe and, of course, healthy environment. Congratulations once again, and we thank you for your service. That's all the time we have. Goodbye.